What is this thing that God has called us to as husband and wife? Marriage is something these days that is more and more confusing to us, it seems. And yet, the Lord has some very clear and beautiful words to speak about it and the responsibilities of husband and wife. But these are the same words that the world goes crazy about. They hate them because they don't look for the good in them or the picture that is being shown through them. Listen now to Ephesians chapter 5. We're in the table of duties here for wives and husbands. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, his body, and is himself its Savior. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church, and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot, or blemish, or wrinkle, or any such thing. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body. Now, it goes on, but you're starting to get the picture here. There's this little part spoken about wives, and it says submit to your husbands. But before it even said that, it had already said, as Christians, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Well, this means that we hold the other person up above us. We think of their needs first and what they would like first. And when both people are doing this, that's beautiful. Husbands, however, there's this big long section, because there is actually something different than simply submitting, which you are already commanded to do. Husbands, you're to love your wives, not in the fili ui gushy sense, but in the way Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church? He sacrificed for her. His life, his whole body, his self. And that means that you, husbands, are called to give up what you want for your wife. When there's a choice between what your wife wants and what you want, guess what? You give her what she wants. You live for that. That is the way God calls you to show love in this world. Wives, respecting your husbands, honoring them, not gossiping about them and complaining about them, but showing the whole world how wonderful your husband is, this gift that God has given you. This isn't about equality. This is about the picture of Jesus and the church. Jesus sacrificing himself for us and the church, honoring him. We are the glory of God as the church because of Christ. May this be the picture in our marriages also.